Hey guys, this is 3D Wrecker here, back for another video in 2022, and today we'll be playing Barotrauma. Only we're not playing it, we're doing a Submarine tutorial instead. A full Submarine tutorial. So yeah, let's just hop straight into that. To make a submarine you need a thing called a shell, so you can just go to this tab with the 9 squares, type in shell, and then build your little hull to shape. So just build a little basic hull. You can mirror things by clicking mirror X and mirror Y to flip this thing upside down and whatever. A little trick I have found is to get the decks right. You'll want just any old door, and then just place it like so, and then that's how high you need the decks to be. So I'll just leave it like that because we're only going to make a small one for this video. There are a couple of parts that are a bit tricky to find, such as the rear part, so you want to type in tail and then click tail fin old A. It's not actually old, it's just, yeah. And then you probably want to scale that like slightly down. Let's do 490, does that line up properly? You can also use the arrow keys to adjust the movement of things. Okay, so that's not it. 495, let's try that. Okay, good enough. You'll probably want an airlock so you can get out of your submarine. So let's just build the rest of the submarine before I get into like any of the super fine details that you would need for a functioning submarine, because it's fairly difficult to build a submarine. So let's just get a hatch. Auto hatch, because why not? Stick it there. And then with every hatch you need a platform, so you don't fall through when you're walking over it when it's open. You can also hover over things and click basic hatch if many things overlap. Then let's find the front. It should be under shell somewhere. Or maybe it's not, maybe actually. There it is. Let's just do front A because it's small. Relatively. You can scale it if you want. Like so. Also copy and paste with Control and C, Control C and then Control V, regular copy paste things. Alright, 750 it is. Close enough. So there's your little hatch to get up. You'd also need a ladder to actually climb it. And you must have it placed slightly above, or enough for your character to get onto the platform, so you don't just fall down and can't actually get up. Now there are a few presets in this, such as like the automatic airlock, which we're not going to use. We're just going to use the regular old airlock doors, stick them there because we can enter out the back. And let me just adjust these real quick. Is not open. Is open. Okay, then we can place some hull over the top. Pull it back to about there, I guess. And then you can just look down through all the shell things to see which ones you like. I'm just going to do this one because it's there. Okay, so there's your airlock. Now what I forgot is that you need a docking hatch as well. So we can just go to the presets, get automated docking hatch, and you can also use shift when you're scaling. Like if it's too hard to like do anything with, you can just close it off with a wall. Like so. And this is so far our submarine. So we are going to give it an engine. Regular engine should do. Doesn't really matter where you place it as long as you got the red circle outside of the submarine, but it does also look nice if you place it properly. It would also be wise to have a nuclear reactor as well, so that you can actually move. You can also scale these as well, so if I wanted like a really tiny engine I could just do that, or if I wanted a really tiny reactor I could just do scale to 0.1 rather, or vice versa. Now it would be good to have some storage so you can store your reactor rods and such, so you can just type in a cabinet. Just get a medium steel cabinet too. You can also click and drag boxes around things as well, and let's get a fire extinguisher as well just in case the reactor melts down. Alright, so that's the reactor room just about done. Get rid of that door and replace it with an actual door with buttons. Door with buttons, there you go. Perfect. You can also use the WASD keys to move around like this in the submarine editor. Get a navigation terminal, so I don't forget about that later. You can also get hook a status monitor up to it, but we don't really need that, but it would be nice. So we can just do that, stick it there. Selected, hold space, and then click on the navigation terminal and it will link them. So then if I were to open this, the navigation terminal will show up on that thing as well. And yeah, you're pretty nearly done. Really the only things you need are quality of life things such as more storage, or actually suits, that's what I forgot. There's a preset for that, so I'm just going to place a couple of them down. So you've got 3 suits, which is good. You will need a couple of junction boxes as well, so you can get the power to where it needs to be. I'll just place 8 for starters. May need more, may need less. You also need a ballast tank or 2. There we go. Need there's a hatch, that's it. Just a simple hatch with buttons will do. Platform, and we can start making our ballast structure. So that's going to be the ballast structure. So we'll also need a ladder to get in and out of the ballast if the pump needs repairs. And that brings us to placing the pump, just any old pump will do. You can always toggle the max flow if it doesn't fill up or drain fast enough. Now it may seem like a waste of space to do this, but it's kind of is, but it's a lot easier in the long run as well. If you wall off sections that have tight corners like that. There's also like back walls you can place down, so I'm just going to place a ballast one there. So it looks like an actual ballast, you know. Make sure it's up a bit so then it doesn't leave gaps when you open hatches, so then you can see through your hull. It is also a good idea to put some blank back walls on the unused sections of the submarine. Okay, so you got your ballast all fixed. Well, not fixed, but completed. So we can then move on to just filling in the back walls, I guess. Doesn't necessarily have to be in this particular order how you do things, but it's just the order I'm going with for this video. And also if you go up the scale, the further back the sprite depth will be. So just keep note of that. Alright, so now that you've got all your back walls filled in, it would be a good idea to use the hull tool to make some hulls, so the game actually knows where the inside of the ship is compared to the outside. You can also use shift to scale them more appropriately, but I'm just going to leave it like that. And I can have the airlock here. It is also good when you're doing the airlock one to select the hull. Now these three dots and add airlock, or like the hull name you want, and just press cancel afterwards. It doesn't actually cancel it, I think it's just misspelt, or not misspelt, but you get what I mean. So with the ballast, you can just do ballast, or any of these. You got like up, like fore and aft ballast as well. You can also use control to select multiple things if you don't want to go around clicking and dragging, because you might also select the back wall that you don't want to move. Window to door with buttons so you can see through it. And then this can just be called utilities or utility compartment or something along those lines. You can also add custom names. So like if I wanted to, I could just call this diving suit room, and that would also work, but it wouldn't technically register as a valid room name. But the AI do type that in when they do their little dialogue things, so that's good to note. It is also good to have your hulls touching each other, so it doesn't like break the game, if you get what I mean. Of course not, because you're all probably thinking, what are you talking about? What is this that you're doing? But let's just say if I had a gap here, anything outside of the hulls is considered pressurized water, so if you try to get through this hatch you would die from pressure. So if you put them up against each other then you won't die from pressure. So that's good to note. Your totally working ship. Let's save it with Control S. Just call it 3Ds tutorial. Nice. And there we go. You can also do like other things, so you could build like a station if you wanted to. Let's just do a scout. You can also put a custom price. I think it only goes down to a minimum of 1,000 though. Yeah, minimum of 1,000. Or not, hang on. Okay, I don't know. But you can put a custom price in. 80,000, yeah, totally. You can leave it blank and then just press enter and it will do the estimated value as well. So you can create, click create, and it will create a little preview image. So then you can also just hit save, I guess. Oh dear, there are some warnings. I'll let you read through these because I already know what they all mean. Okay, so with the ballast pumps, you will want to add the tag ballast as well. So just go to this little thing here, press the comma, and then do ballast, and then press enter. Now the AI knows which pumps are the ballast pumps and which pumps are not the ballast pumps. Okay, so you've got all the important stuff, I guess. Now it would be wise to wire up your ship. Actually, hang on. Before we get to the wiring, we need to add spawn points. So you can just grab the spawn point tool, click that there, human, any, grab another one, stick it back here, and then just look through to cargo. So then people will spawn up here, and then cargo will spawn there. You could also make custom ones as well. So like if I wanted a human, I could assign the job to like engineer, and then engineers will spawn there, and then everybody else will spawn up in the command room. So you can just play around with that. If you'd like, if you feel like making a submarine. Yeah. Now we're on to wiring. So you go up here to wiring mode. You can also press Control 2, but I just click it because, yeah. Oh, hang on. Before we do that, I need to add another box next to the reactor. That'll do. You can also go up to this little toggle visibility things and just toggle everything you want to see. So if I don't want to see anything, I can just turn them all off. If I want to just see the walls, I can turn on walls and such. I don't really need waypoints on. Holes and links. Oh, that's another. Oh, hang on. That's another thing I forgot. How dumb of me. You need an oxygen generator. Just any oxygen generator, so you could probably get the old one. Oh, hang on, no, that's... I don't know. You could even use a shuttle one to power, like, an entire battleship submarine, battle sub, whatever you want to call it. Big, powerful submarine. But yeah, I'm just going to use a shuttle one, because they're smaller, even though you can scale things, I'm just going to use one like that. You also need vents. Has to be a certain vent. This vent or the loose vent. Loose vents you can act like regular vents, only they've got one storage thing in it, so just right click that and storage. Open rather. And let's put a... I don't know. An ID card in there. Just in case somebody loses it and they find this thingo. What's it called? Vent. So yes, you need vents like pretty nearly in every room. Doesn't matter if they're outside of the sub a little bit. As long as the middle of them are is in submarine, it should be good. So you just stick it there. That's good. So the airlock, oxygen vent in there, simply because like it will get oxygen. It will get oxygen from this room here, and you also do need your hatch to be or door even to be like even slightly over in two holes. It can't be inside a hole. So like if I got a door, custom door, and placed it there, it would come up with an error because doors count as gaps. If I turn gaps on, they come with a built-in gap. Now, oxygen vents don't actually do anything on their own. You actually need to hook them up to the oxygen generator by just selecting the vent holding space and then clicking on the oxygen generator. You can also put like custom items in storage, so I'm just going to put a couple of fuel rods because I can't be bothered like setting the containers to do spawn things. So now I believe we are onto wiring. If not, then we'll... yeah. So the reactor only has one power out slot. And then you can just hook up the power boxes however you want to make it look a little bit nicer. I'm going to have them all coming in from the top. To add more little nub things, bends I guess you could call them, you select the wire, hold control and then click. Then you can click and drag these around. So now that this power box is wired up to the reactor, let's wire this power box to the rest of the power boxes. Power boxes only have 5 slots, so it's currently got 2 in use now. So it's a good idea to have more than enough, I guess. Alright, so all the power boxes are now wired up to the central power box, or the main power box. So now we can wire all the things that are on the ship. Just so you know, you do actually need to wire the docking hatch up to power as well. So for me, when I'm wiring things, I usually use the red wires for power. So I'm just going to run a wire through here and power the engine. We'll do all the blue conditiony things after we've set up the power grid. Now the second junction box is full, so we are going to use the third one to wire up the suits. So then if the suit's in there and it has a low oxygen tank, then hooking it up to the power grid somehow refills the oxygen. It also works with these little shells down here as well. So that's everything wired up. And we've still got 3 power boxes left, which we could probably just stick lights everywhere if you actually want to see. But yeah. Now we're on to the coding, I guess you could say, of the submarine. What you want to do is go to the navigation terminal, go to current position Y, because we're going to wire up the ballast pump first. Run a blue wire down here. Oh, it doesn't have to be a blue wire, it can be any wire you want, but I use blue when I'm doing this. And set target level. And same with the engine, only you want to put it in the current position X. And then run it to the engine. To set force. And now it should work. So you can just click the little test button up here and it will put you in the submarine with 3 other characters. Now seeing as the AI don't actually... 2 other characters rather. Oh, he's already here. Okay. Good job powering up the reactor. So, if we test it, we have a pretty slow ascent. Oh, hang on, that's descent. Did I wire the pump correctly? I'm not sure I wired the pump correctly. If I go up... Oh wait, yeah, I did wire the pump correctly, I think. It's full now. Why is it full? I might have messed up the ballast pump, so I'm going to go back and figure out what I've done there. Alright, what have I done to you? I don't understand why it's not working. Should be set target level. Okay, so moving on from the pump, I guess. Actually, no, let's just place some lights while I think of why I stuffed that up. And make sure that when you place the lights, you make sure that they are on, or otherwise you can't see. Alright, so all the lights are wired up, and I still can't understand why this is not working. Let's toggle its max flow up to 800, see if that does anything. Reactor on, please, Mr. AI. Thank you. Output looks good. Alright. I'm just going to take manual... I can't, never mind. Current velocity is what I wanted. Okay. Save that so I don't lose it. We'll fix that later. Ballast hatch is open now, and we're maintaining position. Good. If we go up, did we go up or did we go down? Okay. Let me just troubleshoot this and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm stupid. You've got to set them to velocity out, of course. So now that I know that will work, let's make a little reactor cutoff switch, I guess. Signal out 1 we can do, just in case the reactor catches fire, you know. And then just stick it into, where is it? Shutdown. So then when that is pressed, the reactor will shut down, but then the AI will probably start it up again. But oh well. Let's give that a test. See if that does anything. If I've wired it correctly. Reactor on. Oh, he's one of these engineers, is he? Okay, then I'll do it myself. Okay, now that's not doing anything. Okay, we can go forward. Insufficient power. Why so? Oh well. Active sonar. Looking good. We can go up. We can go forward. We can go backwards. And we can go down. So I'm going to maintain position, grab a suit, and test the airlock. works. But since I didn't install any pumps up here, I'm just going to let it all drain into the ballast. Because the ballast will be like, there's excess water in here. Okay, now that we know the submarine will work, let's blow it up. I know, it's overloading, and all the electricals are slowly burning. I know a way to fix that, and it only requires 4 components and a bit of wire. And this was a thing I recently discovered. So you will need a couple of memory components. Let me just turn off walls so I can see what I'm doing. So a couple of them. I can move them down a little bit. A divide component. And a multiply component. Then we the wiring mode, grab a yellow wire or any other wire, and go to load value out to the divide component into signal in 1. Go to this memory component and change the max value length to the output of the reactor, which is 10,000. So change this to 10,000. Go back into wiring mode. Go to signal out, and then signal in 2 of the divide. And then you want to do signal out to the multiplier, signal in, go back into edit mode, go here, set this to 100, go back into wiring mode, do signal out, signal in 2. Why is there a fire icon? Who's on fire? So now that should stop any overloads. But there's only one way to be certain. Which automatically generates the waypoints for you, so you don't have to run around and do all that. Why? Oh, because the ladder's poking through the hole. Okay, delete that waypoint, so now that should be fixed. Now the AI will follow these waypoints to do their tasks. Since this guy did not have a fuel rod on him, he grabbed one out of the storage. Now, let's overload the reactor. Come here. You? No. Alright. Dismissed all the fuel. And chuck it in the reactor. And let's see if we get an overload. Of the power boxes, that is, not the reactor. Not. In fact, the reactor has stabilized. It would also be a good idea to add some medical supplies into the cabinets, so I will do just that. Alright, so I've added some basic medical supplies, morphine, bandages and blood packs, as well as some calixinide in case I get bitten by a husk. And I've also added some tools in here. Actually, that reminds me, I need to add some, what are they called? Diving masks. Divings, yes. I need the oxygen as What else do I need? Probably some weapons. Let's put a couple of knives in there. A couple of harpoon guns. Now you're set. So that has been how to make a basic submarine that works and does not overload your power boxes. Now this anti-overloading system will be very useful if you make larger submarines than this. So how about we give this a proper test in the campaign, huh? 3D's Tutorial Submarine. 19 by 7 meters compared to the dugong, which is much bigger and much prettier as well. This thing looks absolutely disgusting. I have also made a couple of custom submarines, such as the Beluga, which looks similar to the tutorial submarine, but that is not intentional. Oh, that's also another thing I forgot to add. Coil guns. Back to the editor I go. Here we are, back in the submarine editor. To fix a mistake, I forgot to add coil guns to this hideous submarine. Now where actually can I put them, is the question. Well, I'm not using that or that. If I just quickly go into wiring mode, I can get rid of that loose wire. This thing gets rid of into my inventory, and now I'll get rid of that. I don't want a green one. Get out. I might also add another suit as well.